Hello and welcome to episode 186 of the 77 Club. Harry, start with socials.
The Wolves 77 Club on Facebook and Instagram, at 77 Club Podcast on Twitter, Spotify, iTunes, YouTube. Please subscribe and tell a friend.
Excellent. How many 5-star reviews have we got on Spotify?
It's in the 60s.
Still.
We've got to stop going on about that.
Jack Williams is here.
Hi guys, how are we doing?
Jack, I did tell everybody how you hurt your back last week. Usually I try and come up with a comic reason for you not being there, but it wasn't funnier than the real reason that you weren't here. So is the back better now?
You know what? It's not the best. I've got a deep heat patch on it. Have you ever done your back before? You two? Have you ever done?
Yeah, I have.
Like,
I did a front flip.
Painful.
I did a front flip on a trampoline and pulled my back out once, and I do feel your pain. It is bad, isn't it? Because you can't really do anything, can you?
For the first 2 days, I honestly couldn't move. It was horrible. It's definitely a sign of getting old. But yeah, so I put my back out carrying some bloody Sonic the Hedgehog comics downstairs. Like, if you want the real reason. So just clearing out all my stuff. But yeah, it's better than it was, but it's still a bit tweaky. And
were the comics going to the tip, or have you found a place for them in?
I'll be honest, Sam. Like, they're stood in the car because after I picked them up once, I was like, I'm not touching them again because I'm not breaking my back again. I couldn't walk.
So
the gold rings are heavy.
Has Bailey's pulled his back this week? Is that what you're in?
I don't know. I think he's playing cricket. Although I thought the only exercise he got was jumping to conclusions. Anyway, Friday night football under the lights, Harry. I thought to begin with, actually, the atmosphere was decent and probably the loudest it's been in a long time, which was great. Team came out, not too many raised eyebrows were there. I mean, like everybody was quite exciting. Go on, what for you?
Well, he played the three midfielders, which I said on last week's podcast I didn't want that, and obviously, it was forced, but he did quickly change it, didn't he? When he brought Trincao on, which changed the game completely for Neves. But yeah, that surprised me. Just go right to the beginning of the game. I didn't like the fact he put three midfield, and 20 minutes in, I think he realised it was a mistake. But on the atmosphere, mate, it was an incredible atmosphere. It helped that the game was absolutely mental. And obviously, when we know what happened towards the end, Wolves fans obviously went a bit quiet then. But yeah, great. For a Friday night game, it's decent weather, wasn't it? We weren't getting bloody soaked for once.
Yep.
A few beers and really impressed with the atmosphere. And the atmosphere, to be fair, is slowly getting a little bit better. I know the Palace game was a bit of a shit one, so nothing happened there. But yeah, it's getting a little bit better. It's got to be said, the atmosphere.
Jack, your thoughts?
On the team selection, I wasn't too fussed. I agree. I'd prefer the three up top, but I wasn't particularly too worried. I thought it was a pretty strong team, actually. It wasn't far off our strongest team, if not quite, really. Question marks about Kilman, because, he did all right against Everton and then seemed to be dropped again. That was the only bit of a weird one, really. But yeah, apart from that, about the team, couldn't really moan. But yeah, it's just a weird game, wasn't it, really? And obviously the outcome was depressing. I think Leeds obviously came at us quite a lot, as you kind of expect them to do, particularly in the first 15, 20 minutes. And it was in danger of us getting sort of brought into the scrap that they wanted it to be, because you know how they want it to be. They want it to be open up so it's end-to-end, which is, kind of what happened in the second half, but just for a different reason. But I think once we got that force change, which I know is stupid when you're saying Neves going off and Trincao coming on changed the game. It's like, what's going on here straight away? But it did, and we looked a lot better, and we started to create chances and really control the game. So first off, you can't really fault the performance, and particularly from a player to come on like Trincao who's had a lot of stick, and you couldn't fault him, could you really?
I was just going to say, actually, because when Neves went off and Trincao came on, I just did a Bayless basically turned to Harry and his dad and went, right, that's us playing with 10 men. And then instead of doubling down like Bayless does, I'll say he had a brilliant game, and he proved me wrong. I think he started to show flashes of the player that he can be. It's just the consistency, isn't it, Harry?
Yeah, just like you, Sam, I was the same. I was like, oh, here we go. But I was happy at the same time that we had gone to 3-4-3. I think it was needed, because you think Bamford went through early on for Leeds before he went off injured, didn't he? So they could have been one up in the first 15 minutes. But yeah, came on. Great assists for Johnny. I mean, I thought it was Raul who scored at the time. I remember, Sam. I was like, oh, great finish by Raul. It was Johnny. And then that one, remember when he had that shot from miles out as well at the bar or at the post? That was great effort. He was like a man possessed when he come on. And it's great to see, because he's been out of favour. It's his first goal and his first assist in the Premier League, which is a mad stat, really, when you consider how much he's played. But you just got to take your hat off to him. And I thought at half time we thought that was it, didn't we? We thought, I mean, we were down the bottom laughing and joking, saying, "What a win! Top 6, here we are." And we could never ever have predicted what was to come second half.
Because what came second half, was it 6 minutes into the second half? I think it was the 51st minute when it's. What is it, Jack? Because I mean, Sky Sports put a poll out after the game and said, "Is this a yellow card? Is it a foul by Jimenez?" 82%, which means the other 18% are obviously clearly Leeds fans. Said no yellow card, no foul. It's a 50-50. It's a coming together. What do you think?
I think it's a bit of a ridiculous decision. I think, judging by what I saw, I wasn't at the game. I watched it on TV like a plastic, but I think a lot of people thought it was a foul the other way at first. That's probably the reaction of the home fans, because he's actually come through and clattered him. Then watching it back, you realise when that ball's played over the top, you think it's Jimenez's. To be honest with you, you think it's going to be his ball straight away. And the keeper, actually, to be fair, he does really well. He comes and obviously completely clatters Jimenez in the process. But I think anyone who's played football knows it's not a foul. It's just a coming together. And all right, it's at high speed. But just because the keeper's come out and got the ball first and completely taken the man out, doesn't mean it's a yellow card. Because otherwise there'd be a yellow card every time the keeper comes out and punches the ball in the box and takes someone out in the process. It's kind of what's happened, isn't it? And he could say, oh, he's left a leg in or something like that. But he has every right to go for that ball. So, no, I don't think it's a yellow card. However, I don't know why lately... Even it's just a bit of a liability, isn't he? Just all round. I don't know what he's offering to the team. He's not scoring. He's got the second yellow card is harsh. I agree, but what's going on with the first one? Like, there's no need for that, is there? Because that's put him on the booking straight away.
Jack, I was just going to say, he nearly did what he did at City. Remember when he tried to jump in front of the ball? I thought he was going to get a second yellow.
I thought he was going to do it again as well.
Yeah, but he didn't, thankfully.
That's what I mean. That's twice now that our centre forward has got 2 yellow cards. Which, if your defender keeps getting booked, you kind of understand it. But I don't know, he's quite a physical player. But 2 yellow cards in those sort of 2 games, which were just really, really unavoidable. And as of that point, it's just given Leeds a way back into the game that we really, really didn't need. And we can talk about it now and obviously say it's a stupid yellow card. You can't trust Kevin Friend because obviously he was looking to change the game or do something or send somebody off. Like you could tell it was going to happen, particularly when he thought the game was basically over. He wanted to try and keep it entertaining somehow. And he made a decision to book Raul even before he even spoke to anybody. He got the card out, even though when they're both lying on the floor in a heap. Granted, the assistant flagged for it, but it's a foul at most, that second tackle. But at the same time, we just don't need to be putting ourselves in that situation because we can either take Raul off, he's on a booking, or, just do something at half time just to make sure it doesn't sort of peter out. But the first yellow card is the thing that's pissed me off because I don't think there's any need for that one. And that's basically then put him on that tightrope in a game that's poised like that. And really, we should have been winning comfortably. If he stays on the pitch, we win that game 3 or 4, don't we? I think 3-0, 4-1, something like that it'll be. So...
Just want to go on Raul. I know what you're saying about him being a bit of a waste of space and that, but obviously got his goal against Watford. He is a bit in and out, and I thought he had a good game against Everton away, but then he'll have a shocker like he did against Leeds. But first one's a joke. As we mentioned, he nearly got sent off for stepping in front of him again. But a great comment here from Dean. Did anyone see the Brighton Liverpool game the other week when Diaz went through and their keeper absolutely clotheslined him from hell with his leg? Yeah. And he didn't get a booking or anything. So the consistency from the referees, again, is shocking. The referees on the day and the linos were horrendous. They kept doing what Sam mentioned last week, where they'd let the offsides run and then they'd put their flag up late, which is so annoying. But yeah, it's never a yellow card, in my opinion. Like you mentioned, the keeper come out, he got there first, and then the momentum takes them into each other. And you think back to when David Luiz cracked Raul's head in half, and he didn't get booked for that, did he? Where Raul got the ball first. Yeah. David Luiz smashes his head into Mars and no booking. But it was a terrible decision. It's so annoying. VAR can't overturn yellow cards like that because now we miss Raul for 2 games, I think it is. And although I agree with Jack, he was a bit clumsy to get the first one. It ruined the game for us. But although I will say I was screaming, I don't know if Sam remembers,
you were, yeah.
Why he didn't get Fabio on for Podence as soon as it happened, I'll never know, because we lost the plot. We were booting the ball up. We had a midget on the one wing and Trincao on the other, and we just couldn't get the ball because they were just coming straight back at us. And as we know, 2 goals in the 63rd and 65th minute because we couldn't hold it up. And we panicked.
We're going to say, we mentioned the game against Man City earlier on the season when Raul got sent off and going down to 10 but still defending the way we did, and it was unlucky. Poor officiating again that cost us a point in that game to take away nothing because of the Moutinho so-called handball. But Jack, the way that defence coped with 10 men was absolutely shameful. When you think it wasn't a defender that got sent off, it was Raul. Nothing at the back should have really changed, but it was a complete capitulation. And I don't know whether someone made the point saying that I think Sace was still concussed or something from when he went down, because the way that he tried to deal with that looping ball was just absolutely laughable. They were going absolutely nowhere.
It was. I mean, looking back now, I've taken a few days to get over it. Obviously, it ruined everyone's weekend, really, but it was just shocking. There was just no mental stability there, and there's a lot of people that need to answer for this. Obviously, the individual defending was just abysmal. I don't know what was going on with some of the clearances. There's got to be responsibility on Bruno as well, because he should have changed it as soon as the sending off happened. I agree with Harry. He should have just done something different rather than just keeping your two wingers there with no ball through the middle. And also Cody. It's Cody's back line, isn't it? It's Cody's defenders. And although he wasn't really, the calamity of the lot, I think that was definitely Sace. He needs to keep his head. He needs to control his players around him. And obviously it didn't happen because we were just all over the place. And they sensed blood straight away. And the worst thing, all we needed to do from that position, 2-0 up against Leeds, who couldn't hit a barn door for the whole part of the game before that. And we've got one of the best defences in the leagues this season. There's no reason why we shouldn't be seeing that game out, even if we don't score another goal and winning it. Because we could do that. We could shut up shop quite easily. But I think what's happened is we've made ourselves get worked up about sending off for a start. That's echoed round into the ground and the fans. And then our heads just gone. Our heads are just mentally gone. And we've got sucked into that game that they wanted in the first place for the first 20 minutes, where it's just going to be all over the place, attack versus attack game. I still thought after we got the red card, there's a goal in this here for us. I think we could still score again.
I agree.
We can't keep trying to do the same thing, but I still thought that we could actually get another one because they were that bad. But somehow we just mentally go. I mean, Ait-Nouri loses his man for the first goal. It's exactly what really, that's just was poor defending by him as he goes for the ball and just completely misses it. Obviously, everything that followed after that was just useless as well. That's that ball that just bobbles up to Sace and he tries to volley it and it somehow just goes up in the air and back down in the box. That's just comical, isn't it? What can you do about that? It's comical. And he's been a liability as well since he came back from the AFCON, isn't he, really? Let's be honest. I don't know how Kilman gets dropped and he just keeps his place all the time. Really, I think now you've got to be looking at bringing Kilman back in and giving Sace a rest because, he could just be tired. He could have had a sore head, but he's not been that great, has he? Since he came back, I don't think, really.
It was just so strange for me that, like you mentioned, we're so solid as a defence. But if you just look at that 20 minutes or so after the red card, honestly, it was that one when Daniel James, the ex-Man United player, when he lobbed Sarr and then hit the post and go back out, and even Sarr's flapping everywhere. It was just weird.
Yeah, you've got to say Jose Sarr as well.
Yeah,
he was again not stable from the back like he's been. He was just running. He spent most of the time running about his box, didn't he? It's just down your line for once.
Like you say, Jack, I think you could sense it in the stadium as well. Like we were rattled, and the fans, as soon as the first one went in, and obviously especially when the second one went in, me and you, Sam, didn't we? We were just like, we know they're going to get the winner. It's just going to come, even though it took till the 91st minute. And obviously, it was 8 minutes added on both halves, which is mad. But yeah, it was just crazy because obviously it was all kicking off. I don't know if you're going to bring this up, Sam, but the Billy Wright, the box, all the Leeds fans in there going mad, and the family enclosure, everyone was watching that box for most of it. It was just
that was the more entertaining thing. Cause,
weird atmosphere in the ground, and you could sense them coming into it. And it is annoying because first half, Leeds were terrible. It was so easy for us. So that makes it even more frustrating because they are a crap team, especially defensively. They're so open at the back. They kept giving the ball to us, didn't they? They just kept giving it to us. And it was so easy. So it's even more frustrating that we threw it away like that after going down to 10 men. A little bit of blame to Bruno, I agree. He's got to bring Fabio on for someone to hold it up. But the defence to fall apart like that with Cody at the back, like Jack mentioned, who should have sorted them out, got their heads clear. But the occasion and the atmosphere must have got to the defenders a bit. We panicked and it all went to shit. It was just so strange.
I also want to say how embarrassing I thought the Leeds bench was to run on the pitch when they got the equaliser as well. And
the winner. The winner was worse.
It was Tim Pot, I thought, and then only one of them got booked. So you just think, where is the consistency? There is zero consistency in this league when it comes to officials. Best league in the world with the worst officials. Yeah,
4 subs ran on. Phillips was one of them. He's meant to be injured. He bombed across the pitch, and then when they ran back around the goal. From behind the goal, the North Bank in front of us, they're all smiling, weren't they, and winding the fans up. And how they don't get seriously punished for that? How can 4 subs be allowed to run across the pitch like that? I don't get how that's allowed.
Especially when you've got people running on the pitch and trying to chain themselves to a post, which is what did he? I didn't really see it. Wasn't really looking, Harry. But you reckon did he almost get a byclock and he got just inches away from actually tying it on?
The Everton lad obviously used a zip tie, didn't he? Whatever they're called, like the
yeah.
And he got it on, but this lad, I think he had like a bloody bike thing.
Clock.
Yeah, so he went to do it, and he was close to doing it. But to be fair to Sarr and the stewards, they were straight on it, and I suppose the cameras didn't show him, so he didn't get what he wanted. But what I will say is, after the stewards dragged him away, and he was doing the lying down like Jesus with his arms out, when the police got him down the side of us, because we can see, can't we, where we are, they were brutal to him, like whacking him down head first and things like that. I was like, bloody hell. Yeah, I was like, I know it's bad what he's done, but Jesus, the police just unnecessarily brutal with him, if you get what I mean. I was like, come on.
As soon as he was caught by the stewards, he literally just like flopped over.
Yeah,
that's it, fair cop. So maybe a bit
but
harsh.
It's happening at every ground now, isn't it? Is it oil protests? You two know more than me. I don't know.
Isn't it? Like, I didn't know much about it until obviously everyone saw the funny sort of memes and that from the Everton game. And the lad had a TikTok. Did anyone see the TikTok that he put out like before?
I saw it.
And he went through it. It's one of these weird situations where you can't really disagree with what he's saying in principle, but is it the right way to go about it? Like, it's one of these, isn't it? Really?
I did see that one. I saw that Everton video turned into a meme, and the subtitles was "I'm about to disrupt a football match," and then someone had put Kevin Friend's face on it, which I thought was quite funny. Harry, we saw it coming. But how much of a missed opportunity is this?
Yeah, it's how many times have we said this? It's this last few months has been win a couple, lose a few, get our hopes up, and then at half time we were all laughing, weren't we? We're 6th in the league again, loving life. It's just another massive blow with 8 games to go, and like I said, Leeds are shit, so it's even more frustrating because they are crap. I know their fans are laughing at us, and we should easily be beating them. They're poor.
That's the annoying thing, isn't it? It's just the fact we saw for 55, 60 minutes how they were terrible. They were awful. And even like Gary Neville and Carragher were slagging them off at half time, saying, "Look, I think they're going to go down. They're just, they're in real trouble here. They've got nothing." For the opponents' run for the goal from the set piece, they just completely switched off. They weren't even watching the ball. They were watching each other, and we got in behind before he squared it back to Trincao before anything's happened. Great goal that, by the way, but shambolic defending. And I just don't know how we can throw it away from that position. It just takes something stupid.
How have they scored 3?
Oh no! It annoyed me more. It annoyed me more as well.
Season.
It annoyed me as well because after the game, obviously, I got back and I was watching their manager, old Ted Lasso, aka Jesse Marsh. But he was going, "Oh man, the character of these guys, I just knew he was coming. It was definitely 2 yellow cards for Raul." I'm like, mate, you annoy me even more. A double yellow. And then he's like the character of the players and all that. Fair enough, it was great character, but if that sending off don't happen, we win 3 or 4-0. That's the most annoying thing about it.
Definitely.
If it was 2, I get the point that everyone's saying, even the Leeds fans are saying, well, you threw it away. You should be able to cope with 10 men. Agree. We did. We fell apart. But the second yellow should never happen. So you can be annoyed at Raul, but at the end of the day, it's not a second yellow. But maybe it'd be good for him to have a few games off now, and hopefully Fabio will get a start. Although I found it strange he didn't come on, by the way. I thought he would have brought him on, but he didn't, did he?
He did come on.
He did.
Yeah. Oh, he did. Did Fabio come on?
Right at the end.
Oh, sorry. Yeah. I thought it was Chiquinho. Come on.
He brought both of them on. He brought both of them on.
So, because we were saying, why is there 4 subs? We was confused about that, weren't we? That's all changed the rules, isn't it? So Fabio, hopefully, I forgot he come on, so sorry, but hopefully he should start then, shouldn't he? The next few, and he can be the vocal point, and it's big for him. Like Trincão's took his opportunity. Might see him start next time. Now when Fabio gets another opportunity again, let's hope he takes it.
That's the thing, I suppose, with Jimenez. Maybe it was a little bit harsh earlier, but he can't finish either, can he, at the moment? Like, we'd have been 3 or 4 up at half time if he could finish in that game. And then it's definitely over and he can go get sent off all he wants then, because it'll be
Why does he keep trying to score an overhead kick?
I know, he did it again.
Overhead kick? Why does he keep doing stupid flicks at the top of the box when we just need to just play it simple and we're in? I don't know. This is what I mean. It's just he's just frustrating me lately, and things like this, getting sent off, don't help, because, like you say, it's a stupid one for the second one, but there's no need for the first one, I don't think, really. To get because he's quite high. Another day, another camera angle, another VAR. That first one he could have got sent off for. So again, just stupid. And it's stuff like this is costing us. And the thing that's really pissing me off is obviously I'm thinking about this a lot and looking at the situation and looking at the points throughout the season. if you look at the first game against Leeds as well, we've dropped 5 points against Leeds that we should have had because we gave away a penalty in like the 93rd minute, which is a lapse in concentration. And then we get a second yellow card, and all of a sudden we fucking defends like a slot playing at Molineux. It was shocking. And it was short right, though, isn't it? Like, so, and to get that from a defence. So basically, we've thrown away 5 points against Leeds this season, a team that are going to probably just avoid relegation by the skin of their teeth. Those 5 points will be the difference between us finishing 8th and 6th or 7th and 5th. That's basically what it's going to be now. And we can only blame ourselves on both occasions. And that's the really depressing thing is, forget top 4. That was obviously gone ages ago. I think top 6 is probably gone, looking at the teams and everything. I think it's going to be a straight shootout now between us and West Ham for that 7th place spot and hopefully Conference League football, which, I'd be very happy with. It's still a great season if we do get that. But I don't think we're favourites for it. I think West Ham are. So it's going to be a long shot now, really. We've got to pick up points because we've got to play the big top 3 teams before the end of the season. Our last 8 games, it's tough. And
I was just going to say as well, we had the lads on for the away perspective last week, Ben and Ben, didn't we? And they messaged me after the game saying, "Why are your fans such dickheads and all that?" And he was saying they were saying like he was saying like, "Oh, it's definitely a yellow for Raul," and I was like, "Weren't, mate." It's one of them where if you're a Leeds fan, you're like, "Yeah, yellow, 100% for Raul." If you're a Wolves fan, you're
anybody
say, no.
else,
yeah. But like we mentioned earlier, Dermot Gallagher come out, didn't he, saying it's a very harsh yellow. We were listening to TalkSport on the way back. Jason Cundy was trying to play the card of, it's it could, you know what I mean? It's just merchant. Yeah. I think every fan can agree. Just that on its own as a decision is not a yellow card. So, and I think most people agree with that.
The one thing you also do, if you obviously watched it back a few times, is Raul. He's got his eye on the ball the whole time. Yeah. He doesn't even know the keeper's coming, I don't think, until quite late because nobody did because he did well to get there, the keeper. I think that's part of the reason that he's just trying to win that ball and gets taken out in the process. That's why it just obviously is.
Well, at the time, before I was our seats in the North Anchor a bit shit, I didn't realise the keeper got the ball, and I thought the keeper was off, didn't we, Sam? We were saying
I thought the
keeper was off.
I was like,
but then when we watched the replay, obviously the yellow happened. We were like, oh god, it must have been bad from Raul then. But then when we watched the replay after the game, I was bloody fuming, man. And Kevin Friend, Jesus Christ, he needs to get demoted.
I mean, he's already been banned once for getting the decision wrong this season, hasn't he? He's the one who gave that Liverpool penalty.
So bad.
So the standard of officiating is terrible. Mike Dean's retiring at the end of the season.
Yeah, I see that. Oh my god, Paul, that's another thing as well. Did you see Ayling tried to do the Robbie Keane celebration when he scored as well? And completely messed it up. To rub salt in the wounds as well. Bloody.
So it's Villa at home, Newcastle away, City at home, Burnley away, Brighton at home, Chelsea away, and Norwich at home, Liverpool away. It's a mixed bag, isn't it, Jack? To be fair, I mean, you've got the top 3 in there, but you're not far. I've got the bottom 3 as well.
It ain't great, Sam. Let's be honest. It's I'm sure there's other teams around us with more favourable runs than that. Particularly when we've got to go to Liverpool on the last day and potentially get a result. When they could need to do the same to win the league. It's the same as what happened a few seasons ago, isn't it? But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I like I said, I think. Do we know what West Ham's fixtures are? I'm just put you on the spot there. I don't know if
I can tell you what they are. Yeah,
but I think it will be a straight shootout now.
Let's have a look. They got Everton at home. Ooh. Then they're still in the Europa League. Remember, so they got Lyon.
They're in the semis, aren't they?
Thursday after that, quarters. Then they got Brentford away. Then they got Lyon again away. So 2 away games there. And then they've got Burnley at home, Chelsea away. And then the last couple of games, they got Arsenal at home. So tight, isn't it? Norwich away, Man City at home, and last game is Brighton away. So
okay, so they've got 3 tough ones as well. Then really, if you count Arsenal
I think so, yeah.
in there,
and they're going to be fighting for similar positions potentially. There's going to be a lot on the line, I think, in those games.
We've bounced back. We had that obviously the disappointing losses against Arsenal, West Ham, and Palace. We bounced back, didn't we? But we just got to try and do it again now. We just keep putting ourselves back in these little holes, don't we? Where that's a tough one to take, isn't it?
I know the thing. I think Bruno did say it himself, but the performance up until the yellow card was really good. That's what you've got to take from it because we'd have no way lost that. Well, we'd have won that game probably by more goals than we had planned. So that's what we've got to take from it. But we've got to
Trincão's a positive, isn't it? I suppose that's one of the only positives to come out of it. Is Trincão finally?
I can't believe that's his first goal and assist because he's had some chances, hasn't he? He's
He
had a few where he's
scored-
just skied a few, hasn't he? And
Scored in the cup, didn't he, away at Forest? That was his other, but in the league, first goal, first assist, crazy.
I mean, hopefully he plays like that every game from now to the end of the season because he'll have a chance. But we
Good for Johnny to score as well. Bayless straight away, wouldn't he? See, that's what wing back should be doing, scoring. Straight on WhatsApp, wouldn't he?
But it's difficult. I mean, we do just need to have a look at the defense because it was all over the place. When anyone see the video where somebody said just watch this prime ball, watching by Willy Bolly. I can't remember which goal it was, whether it was the second or the first one. And it's when all that shit's going on. He's just stood there, he doesn't move, and then the ball gets in the net, and he's like just watching it like that. And
like we really praised his performance against Watford, but the difference was against Watford is we hardly had to defend against him, did we? Whereas against Leeds first half, a little bit we had to defend, but second half, obviously, we're backs against the walls, and I don't know.
It was his fault for the third goal, wasn't it? Bolly's fault for the third goal. 8-0 for the first, Sace for the one, and then maybe a combination of all, and then Bolly for the third one. It was just shit show, wasn't it? Really, let's be honest. It's
very strange from us.
Yeah, disappointing to go into an international break like that, but a break from football, maybe it is what we need. So a couple of eyebrows raised, I think probably more from Wolves fans than anyone else, with Max Kilman not getting called up by England. Southgate going for the Crystal Palace defender, Mark Gay. He's come through the England setup, Harry, and I think it was potentially against Palace that Southgate was watching Kilman for one of those, and I think the other one was West Ham. So you can pick over Max.
Yeah, it's frustrating, man, because what a game to go to watch Kilman, where he had a bit of a bad game against Palace. And I think, obviously, all Wolves fans want him in. All Wolves fans know how good he's been this season. But deep down, I think we all knew he wouldn't be, didn't we? Even if Southgate would have seen him have some of his worldly performances, I still don't think he'd have picked him. And he'll get there. If he carries on like he has done this season for the majority of the season, he'll get there eventually. He's still plodding along. But 2 friendlies now, and I suppose the break's got to come at a kind of a good time for us after that result. But yeah, bit good for Kilman, but we expected it.
Jack, Willy Bolly's in the Ivory Coast squad. It's the second game as against Ivory Coast. Could be Cody against Bolly opposite ends of the pitch.
Christ, would be like 5-5 then, wouldn't it? That one. No, yeah, it's good for Bolly to get some game time on it. Really.
Yes.
I know it was a bit harsh. On Kilman, the one thing I'll say about Kilman is I think if he was playing against Leeds, he's very calm, and Kilman. I don't think he'd have panicked in the way the other ones would have done. I wouldn't have started being silly. I mean, he doesn't run if he doesn't have to. Kilman, he's just that laid back.
Unless he's got the ball.
I don't think it would have had the same. I think he'd have been had his head screwed on a little bit. Which if he's not back in the starting lineup after that in the next game against Villa, I'll be shocked, because fair enough, he's played a lot when he hasn't played that much in previous seasons. He might need the odd rest now, but he's got to get back in really. And obviously, if you can't get in the Wolves team, you're not going to get in Gareth Southgate's England team, are you? So if he wants to actually have a realistic chance of a call up at some point, he's going to have to play week in, week out, really. I suppose the other one is that the omission from the Portugal squad in the goalkeeping area, which is just mental in my eyes. But
Neves pulling out as well.
Yeah, so Jose Sarr left out of the Portugal squad. I don't know what he's got to do, really. You know, he's probably been in the top 1 or 2 keepers in the best league in the world, and it hasn't been enough to get him a call up.
He's certainly got the best stats in Europe, hasn't he? I mean, it's amazing, isn't it, Harry, that he doesn't get into 3.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, the other 2, I got the other 2 keepers apart from Patricia. I'm not too clued up on them, I'll be honest. But
when he plays like PSG or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember.
But to not even get in is farcical, really, I think. I'm really surprised at
that. Let's have a look at what you say. Oh, Marcel, Harry, you reckon he could be on his way?
Oh, yeah. So I think talking Wolves, to be fair, they put out a rumour that he might be going to Brazilian team. I can't even pronounce this. Botafogo? I've never heard of him.
Botafogo, I think.
Yeah, I think... I mean, is it a surprise, really? He only signed a short deal with us, didn't he, contract-wise? So
Would you be sad to see him go? Would you?
No.
It's good to have in depth. Would you drive him there?
No, I wouldn't drive him there. I think he's done okay for us, to be honest. And technically, he's been playing out of position because he's not really a left wing-back, is he? Let's be honest. But I think he's done okay when he's had to. Just on the defence, Paul was saying in the comments, Bolly, Cody, Kilman, after the way Sace has been playing. Like Jack mentioned, Sace has been a bit ropey since he come back. We reckon that would work?
Yeah. Yeah, I think at the moment, based on form, that's as good as it gets in it. You could maybe give a shout for Toty, but he's not played enough, has he?
So a new deal as well today, didn't he?
Yeah, new deal to 2027, long-term contract. It's not the one that we want to get a contract. Neves is the one, Wolves, that we want. The rest is great news, but that's the one that we want to see. Harry, just going back to the Leeds game, actually, I think you had a great stat that you wanted to share.
Did we not mention this? The 40-game
I don't think we mentioned it. No, we were trying to work out whether it was top flight or Premier League.
I think the stat is in the Premier League. So it's not many seasons, is it? Was it 8 seasons we've been in the Premier League last 20 years?
This is the 8th, yeah.
Yeah, so after being 2-0 up in the last 40 games, we've won 38 and drew 2. It's the first time we've ever lost in the Premier League and been 2 goals up, which is a crazy stat, isn't it?
And losing to that Leeds side is just making
it makes it even worse.
Can't go over it again. Right, okay. Well, I think is that it for this week? I think.
Pretty much, yeah. It was always going to be a short one with one game, wasn't it? I don't think there's just the internationals to come, which is horrible. 2 friendlies, which feels pointless, but at the same time, I think we need the break. And it's a huge game to come back to. It's Villa next, isn't it? Villa a 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday. I'll try and get an away perspective again. Hopefully Bayless is back. When was the last time we did a podcast with 4 of us, by the way?
I don't know.
It's been a while.
Couple of weeks ago.
Too long.
Is there any comments on the
any questions in the comments?
Yeah.
Are we the team that chokes in big situations? Yes.
It feels like that, doesn't it?
Whether it's at Wembley or at Molineux or Chelsea last game of the season or Sevilla. Yes.
I've never seen us panic like that.
It's awful.
I hate to say, is that the sort of game where you want Nuno as the boss?
God.
Because he'd have changed it straight away, wouldn't he?
No, because he wouldn't have been 2-0 down.
No. We'd have been 2-0 down, but he still changed it.
Oh my God. Hold on. Let me just put this comment up. This is very harsh. Read that out, Sam.
We have a championship defence. We don't have much tactical fluidity as our midfield is often so deep that we struggle for numbers in attack.
It's harsh to call our defence the championship defence with the record they've come up with this year. It's been like one of the best defences in the league.
Yeah. Although that back 3 has probably played in the championship for Wolves.
Apart from Kilman, isn't it? Yeah.
The Kilman
he was playing the conference.
Yeah, he's playing for Maidstone at the time.
We've said about this for ages, haven't we? Like we have had the same players throughout the spine. It feels for a long time. But I wouldn't say it's championship.
Can't say it's a championship. They're one of the best in Europe.
I mean, we are fickle at the best of times as a podcast, but come on, we've got to praise how our defence has been all season. Let's be honest.
I've just never. I think that the most shocking thing is, particularly because of the standards the defence has set this season, that we crumbled like that because it just wasn't expected. I honestly thought we'd see that game out even with 1 man less after the way Leeds started and how organised we are at the back. But I think we just got sucked into it and sucked up by the occasion and by the fans and by their bench and just got wound up by it. And it's exactly what they wanted us to do. And that's what I think got to us.
Dean makes a great comment here. I didn't know this. So Kevin Friend apparently was in the championship on the Tuesday. He had to apologise for a mistake in that game. Then he refereed ours on the Friday. So
how does that happen?
I don't know. So that just makes me feel even worse. Cheers, Dean. I didn't know that. Oh my God. Dean again. I think 8 of the starting 11 on Friday played for us in the championship. Wow. That says it all, doesn't it? With our last few windows.
8, that's a lot, isn't it? That can't be right.
Well, can we work it out off the top of your head?
That's not right.
Jimenez didn't. Cody's didn't.
No, incorrect. It's Sace and Cody.
Matinho didn't. Dendonka didn't. No, it's not right.
No, that's not. Dean, I think that's the wrong stat there. Yeah.
Yeah. Sarr didn't.
Neves.
Neves, Cody, Bolly.
Oh, Bolly.
Who was right wing back?
Sace.
Johnny didn't.
Johnny and Nouri. No.
It's only like 3 or 4, wasn't it? In the start.
Yeah. No. It's not that bad.
Can you ban him, Harry?
No. Don't worry. I make a mistake every week. Like that. Villa have been very poor since they thrashed Southampton. We need to win that game.
See,
it's going to be tough.
Aren't they? Yeah.
You say that, but I know there's a bit of a gap between us and Villa, but if they win it, they would only be 7 points behind us. They're only 1 place below us, aren't they, at the moment? So they're not completely out. If they beat us, it's not completely out of the realm of possibility that they catch us.
10
so
points
we need
to
to be very careful.
It could go to 7 with a game in hand.
Did anybody see Steven Gerrard getting a bit salty with Des on BT
I saw
Sport?
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I think the pressure's getting to him a little bit. He was just like saying, cheers for asking the obvious questions, Des, weren't he? Getting proper salty.
I know, yeah, he was, yeah. It was like I was expecting better from you. And to be honest, fair play to Des for holding his tongue.
Yeah.
You know, don't let that slip.
There we
Excellent. Okay, we'll leave that again for this week. And I mean, we'll be back next week. We're going to preview, obviously, the Villa game. But otherwise, we can all go and try and forget about football for another couple of days until the England games are on. So we'll say goodbye to Harry Mansell.
See you, everyone.
And Jack Williams.
Bye, guys.
And it is a goodbye from me. Goodbye.